Hey everyone, welcome back to the Daily Healing Journal, where I am sharing my healing journey and what's worked for me in real time. So, today we're going to talk about something that our culture has really sort of just pushed under the rug, and this is called personal bandwidth, right? Have you ever had those days where you just feel like you could just do whatever and everything, and then maybe a few days later, or even the next day, you just feel so drained? Well, when you crash, that's because your battery has diminished. And we are more energy than we are matter. You've heard me say it, and it's real. Look it up, right? So let's talk about how to protect your energy and make sure that it's going to the right place. So bandwidth for yourself isn't just about internet speed. It's about your personal capacity. So just like a device can slow down when too much is running around, people do too. This affects us, right? And a lot of times, a lot of us go back to, are you introverted? Are you extroverted? Well, there's also something in the middle, and it's called being an ambivert. And that's me. So I think part of this is due to being an artist also. So I recharge in multiple ways, and you have to find what recharges you. So, some days you might have high bandwidth and you can handle a lot. And then some days you'll have low bandwidth and you need rest, and that's normal. And I'm here to normalize this. I know that, especially here in the United States, we have really pushed ourselves to this hustle culture. And part of this has to do with the amount of value people have put on materialistic and outer world items. Okay. And I think that also with status, people are valuing certain status and they're forgetting that it's not all about who you are and who you are to a big group of people. It's not all about what you have materialistically. None of this we come into the world with, and we don't leave this world with it. The thing that you're going to utilize the most is your own energy. So let's talk about it. So, one thing that I've noticed for me is, when you walk into a room and if you're intuitive, which honestly I think we all are, it just is if you are in touch with that part of yourself. But let's start with, people can recharge us and discharge us, and we may not even realize it, right? We might have somebody in our life that's venting a lot. And I've been guilty of this too, because before we're self aware, a lot of our feelings and emotions and our situations, other things that I've talked about in other videos, it can be very hard to gauge what is draining us. I can tell you right now, one of the things that has drained me the most is people. What's strange about this is I can also tell you what has recharged me the most is people. So, part of this for me, and I don't know about you, but some of us are extroverted, some of us are introverted, but I personally am right in the middle, and it's what they call an ambivert. And some of this might have to do with the fact that I'm an artist, right? For me personally, but some people get recharged by just constantly going out and hanging out with other people. But you have to be careful with this, because sometimes if you're doing that, it means you're filling a void and you're not really recharging where you need to be more mindful. And I've struggled with this in my past, right? And I've learned over the years, especially after lockdown, how much I really needed some space for myself. So some people give the energy of supportive and fun and inspiring, right? And we all love that. Others drain our energy with negative, stressful, demanding energy. And we all have that person in our life. At least we have, and we know who these people are that are just complaining. And I can sympathize with this to a degree, because I have leaned into venting to friends of mine, family members, things like that, about situations. And from my perspective, it's always been to try to better the situation. But you have to watch out for the people who are doing this, that are not trying to better their situation. They're just trying to justify themselves and their behavior, and or maybe cover up their lies. And what's happening is, when they're trying to do this, because lies and everything takes so much energy, they're trying to suck you in. It's very dangerous. Steer clear of people like this, and you'll know. But you have to be calm inside yourself enough to know, is this person just like entertaining me right now? Because there's a lot of people out there that find other people's lives and gossip entertaining. I'm not one of those people. I've never enjoyed that sort of thing. Look out for these things, okay? There's also those genuine friends that just need somebody to talk to. And there is a huge difference. there's a huge difference, and there's nothing wrong with running by, certain scenarios. But just make sure that when you're venting to people and you're talking to others, just be honest, and sometimes it's good to realize that not everything is for everyone. Okay. Not everything is something that we need to share. And we have to remember that as we share those things, or we're listening to people sharing certain things, you ever just feel like, it's a two-way street. Okay. So we're all guilty of this to a degree. Just be mindful of this. Okay. And, if you just feel lighter after speaking to somebody that's recharging you, if you feel heavier or just like, whoa, after that person is draining you, it doesn't make these people bad, but sometimes it does. Okay, so pay attention. Also, pay attention to the environments and the situation. So, certain places can recharge you, like nature, creative spaces, and peaceful homes. And then others can drain you, okay, like lots of crowds, lots of, wobbly energy, and stressful workspaces and chaotic environments. These types of things are going to stress you out. And it's definitely something to be mindful of. If you are in an environment that is draining you and unsafe, you either need to remove yourself from it or figure out how to build some strength if you think that this environment is for you. So, the way that you can feel this out with yourself is, have you ever walked into a place where you just instantly felt uncomfortable? Okay. And or your immediate presence with certain people's uncomfortable. Just be warned. It goes back to the wolf wearing the sheep mask. A lot of the most draining people are just going to do this. They're going to spin lies. They're going to do all kinds of things. They're going to charm you, and they're going to lure you in thinking that they're going to recharge you. Those are the worst. Okay. So watch out for that. And this doesn't mean that you can't trust people, but you just make sure you give them enough space. I've made this mistake where I got lured in. I was convinced that I believed certain things, certain people, certain friendships, certain relationships, and not all these people were bad people. Some of them were just pure evil. I mean, truly. So you just have to really watch out for this, because this is where you're going to learn to balance your energy. And if you can't avoid these people, circumstances, or situations and places, like I said, you really have to take an evaluation and decide what it is that you want to keep and what it is that you need to get rid of. So, the danger of over pushing our bandwidth, I am so guilty of this. I have done it for the last nearly 3 years of my life. And before that, I was doing it as well. And before that, I was doing it as well. And I was just letting these people in my life without taking enough time to go, is this really the type of life that I want to align with? And not all these people were bad. The most recent ones were probably the most draining, but just the same. You just have to be careful, and you have to be very aware. Okay. I'm going to go back to the value system, go back to your values. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be friends with everyone. You don't have to listen to everyone. You can just be like, you know what? I got to go now. And I wish that I had done that. I wish that I had done that a lot sooner than I did in a lot of other situations. So take it from me. Sometimes it's just time to walk away and get away. So you got to check in with yourself, do I feel energized or drained? And I liked to use this. And unfortunately, in my past, the people that I thought would maybe like this never participated. Okay. That is sign number one. Those people don't respect your energy. But I'm going to give you a little tip here. Okay. You can get a whiteboard or a chalkboard or a piece of paper. And if you have roommates or a partner or family members, or you're surrounded by anybody, whether it's at home or in your office, what I like to do is I like to be honest about my bandwidth at the beginning and the end of the day. And just next to my name, okay, then I write a number between 1 and 10. Maybe one day I'm feeling a 4. Maybe one day I'm feeling a 5. Maybe one day I'm 1. Maybe one day I'm 9. Okay. And that gives the other people that you're around the opportunity to respect that. Now, big red flag. Okay. And I experienced this more recently. If you're trying to do this and say, hey, I feel pushed and I'm under a lot of stress right now with this, that, and the other. For me personally, it was getting my endocrine health under control. And, a lot of those things can be very stressful, changing your diet, exercising, and getting enough rest, and changing a lot of, different things, eliminating things out of your diet. And that alone takes a lot of energy. It began to drain me. And I started to realize, all of my energy was being focused outward on these things. And I really needed to go inward. And if you're not surrounded by a team player, but somebody who says they're a team player, be very weary watch their actions. I made the huge mistake of listening to someone's words and not paying as much attention to their actions and them clicking together. Okay. And then I would get upset and say, hey, what's going on here? I thought that we were going to tell each other how our energy feels, right? And you can use this tactic with anybody. And if they're not willing to participate in that, bye bye. And that was one of the first major red flags that I noticed, because as I was going through therapy and I was going through all of these programs to help me become a healthier, better person, if you're around people who pretend like they want to participate, but they never walk the walk, they're just the talk, bye bye. Don't fill those red flags in green. Remember what we said? It's like they're waves of poop, because green and red make brown. Those waving brown flags, pew, not for you. Bye bye. So, a lot of these people that can drain our energy, those are the ones that are to really, really not like these structured protection programs. So, you have to learn to say no without guilt. Okay. So, just simply say, you know what? I just don't have the energy for that right now. Now, I started to practice this, and it was offending my environment, and it was offending other people in my life. And that was very hard for me, because I'm a fixer, right? And that's something that I'm actively working on, because I like to help others and I like to see the better in people. And I give people the benefit of the doubt. The thing to remember is, if you are pushing this, giving people the benefit of the doubt, and it's starting to make you sick, it's starting to make you act in ways that you don't want to act, that's that bandwidth going, hey, alert, alert, you don't have any more energy. And then you just start to sort of feel like nothing makes sense. Things are confused. Maybe you're getting gaslit. Who knows? But you have to recognize this stuff, and you have to put your foot down and make those boundaries. And you have to recharge before you are completely on empty. What are you going to do? What are you going to do if your car runs out of gas on a road trip? Well, you're not going to do much if you get stuck somewhere, right? So remember to refuel your gas tank. And I tried to do this many times in the most recent years of my life. And I was surrounded with a lot of energy saying, you know, knocking on the door over and over and over again, or or maybe this person was, needy and whiny. And it was like, when we go through these things, you have to ask yourself, is this really good for me? Is this really what I signed up for? Because it sure isn't matching what I thought I was signing up for. Really put yourself in check and stay strong with those boundaries. And this can be really hard, especially if you love these people. But stay strong. You got to love yourself first. So, again, let's identify bandwidth thieves. You've got to limit your time with these people, okay? Because all of a sudden, you're going to start to feel achy and like kind of doom, and you might be acting out in ways you normally wouldn't. That means you are running way past empty. And I'm guilty of this. And it was spun around on me multiple times in my life. And especially recently, it's like, you go through these things where you start to feel like, why am I so tired? I feel heavy right here, and I'm not depressed, and I'm good everywhere else in my life. Because why? Because I've selected certain things, but maybe you haven't cleaned out the entire closet. Okay. So that's something to be mindful of. So you need to adjust without judgment. So it's okay to have low bandwidth days, and don't feel guilty of that. I used to feel guilty of that. And I used to, maybe if I was low bandwidth, for example, a couple of years ago, I did this water fast, right? And the person that I was around at that time was bringing food and like putting it in my face. And I chose to cut back on alcohol. And this person's like, here, keep drinking. You should keep drinking. Don't let them do that to you. And to sit there for 3 days and do a water fast to reset my sugar because I was insulin resistant was something that I chose to do for myself. And I am not recommending you do this. I'm just telling you my story. And this person did not have any respect for it and was trying to sabotage my efforts. And then on the side would say, yeah, I'm really proud of you, but you know, here, eat this, drink this. Here, why aren't you drinking with me? Why aren't you eating with me? Here, eat more fatty foods, eat this sugary thing. I know this isn't really your thing, but like just kind of nasty stuff. Like that's not normal behavior. Okay. And for me, I was isolated. And for the first year of a lot of this strange stuff, I didn't even have a car. So I was completely removed out of my environment. And I was trying to figure out if this was normal or not. And this is what happens when we aren't exposed to healthy relationships when we're younger, and we accept things. So I watched people in my younger years way overextend their bandwidth, and I think just thought that's how it was supposed to be. And I've learned that it's not, and self-care and self-healing is so important. So make sure that you don't deplete yourself. And if you have a day where you're like, you know what, I'm tired and today I'm going to rest, then do it. Don't apologize for it. Just do it. Okay. You are a battery. You are a ball of energy. You are a ball of light. And you deserve that for yourself. Okay. And maybe you get that in other ways than other people. But I believe that it's good to have that balance because that's just how I feel. It's probably different for you. Going back to my values, I write better songs, I make better paintings, and I'm a better friend. I'm a better person all around. I'm a better partner all around when I take care of myself. But if you are around people who are trying to sabotage this and they're so good at doing it in ways that are sneaky, these are the ones you got to look for. These are the cancers, okay? So I hope that helps you guys today. And I'm kind of feeling a little tired, not sleepy tired, but just energy wise. I feel like I need to fill myself up today. And so I'm just taking a down day. A lot of friends and a lot of people have been reaching out to me to invite me places. And I am beyond grateful for this. This has really been so amazing for me. Living in the Keys, this place has hugged me back. Key West is home. And I am so lucky to be in a community where this is something that's very real here for me. And I had a great show last night at La Tida, and I'm loving playing there. And it's really nice to play in a place where I'm appreciated and I appreciate being there. And so, that helped recharge me. And I just knew today that I just need to do a couple things for myself. This used to give me anxiety. This used to give me horrible anxiety, but I've learned to lean into it because your life really changes once you start taking care of yourself. So don't let anybody bring you down. Don't let anybody drain your energy. It's yours. Okay, you guys? A lot of love, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.